Rising to your October astrology. I'm your Cosmic Girl 101. What a dynamic month we have. We've got our second eclipse happening straight out of the gate on the 2nd of October. No less in your first house if you're a Libra Rising. Welcome to all returning supporters of the Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel. And for all the new listeners, all the new people that are here, welcome to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm a Hellenistic Western tropical astrologer for full disclosure. So, Libra Rising, big changes coming up for you indeed. Your ruling planet Venus is having some interesting aspects in the month of October. We'll be going over that for you. If you're a Libra Rising, Venus is your planetary ruler. It's the lord of your chart. It's the planet that governs your first house, the self, who you are, how people see you. It's your character. It's the skin you put on in this lifetime, if you will, and it's how you're identified. You're very Venusian. You are a Yang, a cardinal air rising sign. There's a lot to unpack here. Sit back and relax and enjoy your month's delineation astrologically with your Cosmic Girl 101. Now let's talk about the slow planetary transits. We have to because they're part of our solar system and are integrated with astrology. Neptune and Saturn continue their retrograde in Pisces, your sixth house, which we've just been talking about. Saturn goes direct on November 15 and Neptune goes direct on December 7. Uranus continues its retrograde in Taurus, your eighth house of shared resources and finance, and then goes direct on January 30, 2025. So the big news of the solar planetary transits on the 9th of October, Jupiter is going into a retrograde in your ninth house of expansion growth and goes direct on February 4, 2025. So when you've got Jupiter retrograding in your ninth house of international travel, international and foreign connections. It's to do with your spiritual and philosophical outlooks about life, religion. It's to do with legalities. You could also be experiencing teaching, higher institutions like universities, places that you go and learn. This is very ninth house. The ninth house is where we travel, like we go on trips or we learn in institutions or schools. And what we do in the ninth house is we develop new understandings about our own personal journeys. When we learn and travel, we bring those experiences back, we integrate them, and it changes our spiritual and philosophical outlooks about life because we've got lived, learned experience. So when you've got Jupiter retrograde here until February 4, you could be returning to people, places, or faces that feel bigger or larger than life, like really opening yourself up to new societies, new cultures, new ways of thinking, just expanding yourself and possibly just reconsidering the larger scope of your life regarding travel and education as well when Jupiter's retrograde here before it goes direct on February 4, 2025. Then the next big news of the solar planetary transits, Pluto on the 11th of October now stations to go direct in Capricorn, your fourth house. Really important for you, Libra Rising, because that fourth house is an angular part of your natal chart. Your angular houses are the first house, your seventh house, your 10th, and your fourth. So when you have a planet that has been transforming an angle for a very long time, since 2008 no less, Pluto has been transforming and really changing up a lot of dynamics connected to your home, ancestry, real estate, property, parents, parenting. It's your lineage, it's your heritage. There could be deaths with parents or deaths with partnerships, etc. Split ups in families, dynamic changes in the family units. This is what you could have been experiencing since 2008 And Pluto's now ending this transit in your fourth house. And I think that's going to be welcome, because from the 11th of October moving forward, for you as a Libra rising, you may see a settling, or the transformations really that have been percolating over a very long time start to ground and settle, become more certain, and potentially you're looking at some big changes in regards to the subjects of parents, parenting, real estate, property, ancestry. These subjects are going through a settling now from the 11th of October moving forward in your fourth house. Yay! The sun is transiting in your first house, opening up the month of October. And traditionally, the sun is in fall in Libra. It doesn't operate so well in the sign of Libra. Why is that? Quite simply because the sun is dying in light through ancient Hellenistic teachings. So you may be feeling, if you're a Libra rising, from the 1st of October until the 22nd of October, that you are not as prominent. Two is better than one. You may be integrating more and feeling like you're giving a lot more time and space to others when the sun is transiting in your first house in that fall sign of Libra. So not a lot of energy, if you will, to uh, change things up that have been part of your path. And that could simply be because you're trying to create balance. And I think that's what you're experiencing here. I just want things to be so when the sun is transiting and fall in Libra. So you just may be feeling a little bit less, shall we say, ambitious with the sun in Libra. You're sort of quite content to mingle and blend with others and not take more of a leadership role. But there may be moments where you are in the spotlight for sure, when the sun is in that first house shining on you, absolutely. But you may be just happy to pass on the baton and start to share and delegate more and not overcompensate as such. So, integrating with others more will be a little bit more pleasurable, I think, for you when the sun is transiting in that first house. On the 13th, the Sun trines retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, its detriment sign, your ninth house. So a Sun-Jupiter trine is always astrologically good. These two planets, respectively, in their own right, are quite life-giving and abundant and vibrant. But the Sun is in fall in Libra, Jupiter's in detriment in Gemini. So what's easier here is to lose yourself in uh, philosophies about life, long distance travel, dreaming about um, different people, places, and faces. It's easier for you to get lost in the juice on the 13th of October. I mean, it depends what side of the fence you sit on, Libra Rising. Is it good to lose yourself in people, places, and faces? Or do you feel overwhelmed with too much expansion and exacerbations? Could be something you're trying to navigate. On the 14th, the Sun squares off with Mars in its full sign, being Cancer, your 10th house. So this is a difficult day, as much as, Sun and Mars, like these planets respectively, are quite powerful. So you've got like a peacocking day here, which is basically the sun in your first house is, trying to encourage you to, take a beat, get out of the spotlight, take a break from work, not be so ambitious, um, and potentially just readapt to a new role in your workplace that you might be finding it hard, or a new part of yourself is trying to navigate a new way of being seen in the public. And I don't know, for some reason, it just feels a little bit tiresome on this day. You could just feel like there's tension in the air on the 14th. Well, and we all don't get out of it, Libra Rising. It just so happens to be the square between your first house and your 10th house. So, yeah, you may be just feeling like you need a break or something's changing publicly, and for some reason you're just feeling at odds with it. On the 22nd, the sun then ingresses into Scorpio, that watery fixed yin sign of Scorpio to November 21st, your second house of finance. When you have the sun beaming through your second house, your financial space, assets, possessions, resources, things that support you are on fire. So you're the detective here, and you certainly are identifying your emotional connections to possessions, assets, and resources, and may be really ready to anchor into some long-term financial contracts or commitments for your future moving forward when the sun is transiting in Scorpio from the 22nd of October to November 21st. Yes, we have our second solar eclipse happening on the 2nd of October, your first house. This is so significant for you if you're a Libra rising. The new moon solar eclipse is heralding a brand new image, a new you. You could be doing a makeover. You could be getting married. You could be getting divorced. You are definitely ending or starting something quite acute on the 2nd of October that is all about yourself, how people see you, your psychology, how you're known. So this is definitely a day to mark in your calendar if you are ready to take action, change something up for the long-term future that is all about your identity. This is the day to do it. You step out of one skin and step into another on the 2nd of October. And then on the 17th, we have that full moon in that fiery cardinal yang sign of Aries, your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, contracts, agreements, negotiations, the house of pleasure, the house of rest. But it is in the sign of Aries. And Aries is a cardinal yang fire sign, which is ruled by the planet Mars, which is currently transiting in its full zodiac sign being Cancer. And this is your 10th house. So, Libra rising, your angles are lit up like Christmas trees, as you can hear, in the month of October. So when you're having a full moon on high octane, because it's about Mars, there is like a passionate expression from the heart regarding relationships, contracts, and agreements. There could be this is the day where you really enjoy resting and doing you and a partner just taking off, or you're beginning a new contract and you're just going for it, and it's close to your heart chakra. You're very protective, you're very mama bear or papa bear on the 17th of October in that 7th house. So you've got some very dynamic and interesting lunations happening for you, Libra rising, in the month of October. Enjoy. Venus, your planetary ruler, opening up the month, continues the transit through Scorpio, your second house of finance. Venus is in detriment. What does this mean? Well, Venus is in a zodiac sign that is contrary to its character, because Scorpio is the zodiac sign that is ruled by the planet Mars, which is currently transiting its fourth zodiac sign of Cancer, your 10th house. Yet it trines the second house. So the ruler of Scorpio is in the 10th, trining the second, where Venus will be transiting up until the 17th of October. So we've got a bit of mutual reception going on, which is nice to see astrologically when we're talking about aspects. So Venus and Scorpio, we are intense love, contractual love that is unbreakable. You are all about coveting, protecting, vehemently declaring something you're passionate about regarding your possessions, your assets, your resources, your finances that support you. What goes on in this second house is that you are definitely trying to anchor into something concrete, long-lasting, That's very intense. That's very true to your heart, with Venus transiting in that second house of Scorpio. On the 8th of October, Venus trines Mars in Cancer, so we now see on the 8th these two cosmic lovers coming together in unity. This is a matchup made in heaven, something publicly with your career, your identity, how you're seen and known in the world, takes shape and form, and it supports you. It gives you a sense of resources and assets that are lovely. What a wonderful day to be had on the 8th of October. Enjoy that, Libra Rising. On the 14th, Venus then opposes retrograde Uranus and Taurus, and Venus is the planetary ruler of the zodiac sign of Taurus, and she's opposing retrograde Uranus there in your 8th house of shared resources, assets, finances, and even your own wealth. So what's Venus got the shits about with retrograde Uranus? Well, this could simply be a delay in a return of an asset, or a partner's assets are hitting a snag on this day, or there's not enough resources to do what you want to do regarding a renovation or a purchase, for example. Just a difficult day, and it's all about the money at the end of it. So Venus is not happy with Uranus not creating any liberation or movement regarding resources, assets, possessions that are significantly important to you and or a partner. Then on the 17th, Venus ingresses into Sagittarius, your 3rd house, until November 11. Busy, busy, busy social events. We're talking parties, concerts, traveling, short distance traveling, vehicles, technological gadgets, siblings, cousins. We're talking about education, reading, writing. It's a very busy place. It's the neighbourhood. So Venus transiting here just can have you so busy in that 3rd house from the 17th of October to November 11. But because it is Venus and your ruling planet that rules you, the self, your body, your image, who you are, what's nice here is you just enjoying the 3rd house topics. Like, you're enjoying connecting with siblings and cousins. You're enjoying short distance travel. You're enjoying talking and being social. And you're enjoying spending money like a trooper as well when Venus is transiting in the 3rd house of the day-to-day. So watch your purse strings, yeah? Mercury, the planet of contracts, commerce, movement, travel, intellectual pursuits. It's the social planet, Mercury, as much as your ruling planet is being Venus. For the opening up the month of October, Mercury is continuing its transit in your 1st house up until the 13th of October. Mercury transiting in your 1st house will have you moving more, talking more, lots of social changes and interactions going on around you, contracts, anything to do with money and exchanges with finances. This is what you could be experiencing when Mercury's transiting here in your 1st house. On the 6th, Mercury squares off with Mars in fall in Cancer, your 10th house of career, your professional life. It's the house of what's your name, how people identify you in the public space. So your ruling planet's squaring off with Mars in its full zodiac sign being Cancer. Well, what we've got here is a clash of ideas, concepts, or realities going on regarding your career, how you're seen. You could be changing contracts. You could be changing your name. So there's almost like a tension going on here with Mercury trying to talk, communicate, and squaring off with Mars in the 10th house, which is taking action, being bold, being very proactive in taking acute strategic action. So Mercury squaring off with Mars on the 6th looks like a day of a necessary conversation, a necessary change, especially to do with anything contractual or to do with finance on this day, connected to your public name, your image, how people see you, and your career. It's very important because it's impacting that first house of the self, your identity, who you are, how people see you, and your psychology. So you could be trying to process a change that's going on publicly or with your career on the 6th of October. On the 8th, Mercury then squares off with Jupiter in its detriment sign Gemini, your ninth house. Trines Jupiter. So Mercury, Jupiter trine, we're talking about a meeting of minds, really enjoying traveling, uh, learning about different people, places, and faces. Also looking at the spiritual aspects of your life if you practice any sort of religious paths or spiritual paths. This is a day where you could be having some great conversations, going on pilgrimages, going to places that give you a sense of peace and harmony. Not a bad day at all on the 8th of October. And then on the 13th, we see Mercury ingress into Scorpio, that fixed yang watery sign, until November 2nd. And this is your second house of finance. And Mercury is very mercurial, really likes information, detail, data, analytics when it's transiting your second house of money, possessions, assets, and what supports you. So from the 13th till November 2nd, Mercury is being the forensic Sherlock, going deep into rabbit holes regarding finances, contracts, agreements, things that support you, your assets. This is what you're hyper vigilant about when Mercury is transiting that fixed watery sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by the planet Mars, which is currently transiting in its fall sign of Cancer, your 10th house, which is trines your second house. So you may be finding it easier to retain money, get money from your career, get a payout, take some time off and enjoy it. Discover different investment opportunities when Mercury is transiting in your second house of finance. Not a bad transit at all. And then on the 30th of October, Mercury opposes retrograde Uranus in your 8th house of finance, assets, and shared resources. So Mercury's got a problem with retrograde Uranus. What's the problem? Uranus not taking action, not feeling like you're liberated, not changing things up with finances or contractual finances or integration with partners as well. Partnership could be having some trouble retaining finances or may lose a contract, for example, which could affect your finances together. So it could be a difficult day to navigate on the 30th. The 31st, we see Mercury, 31st of October, where it's Halloween. Happy Halloween if you celebrate it. Mercury's trining retrograde Neptune in Pisces, your 6th house. The 6th house is a house that is about things of service, services that we provide to people or services that we utilize. It's a house of co-workers. It's to do with your work, things you do on the day-to-day. It's very habitual. Your health. It's the house of sickness. It's the house where we roll our sleeves up and get our hands dirty. The 6th house is all about the work and the kumbaya. Let's just get the job going. So Mercury's trining from your second house of finance in Scorpio to Neptune retrograde in Pisces, your 6th house. So what's nice about this is a return or time out away from things that are habitual to you. Taking a break from work, reconsidering pets, or some pets are highlighted on this day that are important to you as well. You could also be seeing a return of peace regarding your health, feeling better, or going back on a diet to make yourself get fitter, for example. Not a bad day at all to be had on the 31st of October, Halloween no less. Mars is transiting in Cancer, its full zodiac sign, your 10th house, until November 3rd. So what you can expect here is just some stop-starts with your career, changes going on with your professional image, or how people see you publicly. There could be adjustment moments here going on with Mars in your 10th house. On the 24th, Mars is sextiling retrograde Uranus and Taurus, your 8th house. Great for a financial contract to land. An agreement happens with you or a partner that feels secure, feels safe. Assets are improving on this day, or a return of an investment, not bad at all, on the 24th of October. The 28th, we see Mars trine retrograde Neptune in Pisces, your 6th house. Fabulous. This is you taking time out from work, or reconnecting with workmates, for example. Possibly the subject of pets is highlighted on in this day. That's quite favourable. And also something contractual with your career could be quite auspicious on this day, the 28th of October. Not bad at all. And then the 31st, Halloween, the moon is in the zodiac sign of Scorpio on this day, and traditionally is in its full zodiac sign being Scorpio. This is your second house in its waning phase, so it's dying in light, but it's trining Mars in Cancer, your 10th house of your career, your public image, how people see you, how you're known, your professional life. So when you've got that moon from your second house trining the 10th house, where it's dying down and it's intense and it's emotional, but it's fixed. It feels good and deep and profound. This is like anchoring into a very secure relationship regarding career, your professional life, something that improves your assets and finances, that supports you. Even though the moon is in full, absolutely. And even though Mars is in full, absolutely. We've got astrological mutual reception going on here. And what I like about this is it's the second house of finances and the 10th house of your career and public image. So this looks like a boost financially that is deep and profound and emotional. So I like this day for your finances, your career, and your public image on the 31st of October. Enjoy that, Libra Rising. Stay cosmic. What a big month you've got going on, Libra Rising. Feel free to leave any comments in the comments section below if you're going through some significant changes. I encourage and welcome any public interaction on this channel. Yes, it's eclipse season. It's a big deal because it is in your first house. So whatever's changing, what's the beginning or what's ending, it's going to be beneficial for you because it's in your first house. It's really changing your identity. It's changing your psychology. It's shining a light on something massive, transitioning, transforming for the self. So not too shabby at all, Libra Rising. Ways to support your Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel. Book a reading. I've provided the email. And like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button. And you're probably going, really another one that asks for my help? Absolutely, because what this does is it opens up astrological information to other astrology enthusiasts such as yourselves. Stay cosmic, enjoy the month, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, Libra Rising.